But let's see how he's gonna drag me, because, okay. Hey you guys, my name is Stella Williams and Birkin. Hi buddy. And today we are going to be responding to the Obese to Beast video about me part 2. Never reacted to part 1 because I did watch it. There was just a lot of misinformation about me that could have easily been found out if you had spent no more than 5 minutes on any of my weight loss videos on my vlog channel. So I just felt like it was just not really well put together as much as I saw. I decided to not finish the first one, but the second one came out and I just wanted to see what it was about. So I watched like a minute of it and then asked if people would even be interested in a response. Everyone said yes. So here is where we are today. But I'm Googling right now Obese to Beast's real name because I don't feel like that's on his birth certificate. John. So we're gonna call him John for the purposes of this video because it's just more respectful for me. This video that we're gonna be responding to today is called Stella Williams Can't Lose Weight on the Internet, My Thoughts, which is interesting because I never said I couldn't. So I'm interested to see what he got out of my video. Scared to Lose Weight is on the thumbnail, which is pretty accurate for various reasons. But then also, Birkin, it's not playtime, boo. Also, it's 30 minutes long, so I'm gonna do the worst thing you could do to any YouTuber, and I'm gonna be watching this at 1.5 speed. Sorry. I'm not gonna react to when he actually is watching my video, because obviously I was there. I made it. So I really just want to get his response, see what's up. I've heard mixed things. I feel like he could be really harsh. I've heard that his followers can be really harsh if you're from the Obese to Beast channel. I've gotten some positive comments which really made me want to watch this video because a lot of people who came from his channel really supportive. So I'm assuming he's not trashing me. If he is, I guess here we are. Maybe they just wanted to offer support. Let's get into it, but before we do, I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. That's all. Okay, so let's get into it.
Today, we are actually going to be, this is actually a little bit of almost an update video, which I'm not sure how many of you guys saw the previous video where we talked about this young lady, but this is a video where we're going to be talking about Stella Williams, who, she made a video, I think it was in like November, it was sometime last year, where she was kind of talking about how she wanted to start losing weight because she had some issues that were related to her weight loss, but then she was kind of worried about sharing those thoughts because she was afraid because a lot of her persona online was being a plus-size person and
was being a plus-size person. Thank you.
No, it was a whole thing. And so she actually recently made a video where, I mean, you guys will see right here, the title of it is My Secret Weight Loss. And then I'm assuming, I watched a little bit of this where she kind of revisits that topic and talks a little bit more about it. So I think that it could be a really interesting topic. So without further ado, Stella, take it away.
That's what's so interesting to me is like, I make these videos not expecting anyone to watch them but my followers. So when they end up in the hands of like Obese to Beast, you're like, oh shit.
Well, I mean, this obviously has nothing to do with weight loss, but this is something that's true with a lot of people, and I wish more people would talk about this. I feel like I bring it up quite a bit, especially if you're here with the streams. I talk about how I'm definitely not perfect and I have my issues. But with like influencers, a lot of people are afraid to talk about the bad. Now, one thing I do want to bring up, and I feel like this is something that I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me about, a lot of people that might be my contemporaries or whatever. I definitely feel bad for anyone, this is men and women, but sadly it definitely affects women more, for any overweight woman online, because if they talk about anything related to their health at all, everyone is going to say, well, you just need to lose weight. And that isn't helpful, you know? And so I definitely feel bad. I don't want to say feel bad. It's not like I have pity, but like I definitely can understand feeling scared or afraid or apprehensive to speak up about any medical issue, regardless of if you're health at every size or not, right? Regardless of that, because you're afraid there's just going to be a bunch of people being like, well, you just need to lose weight. It's just like, dude, how is that helpful, man?
A note off of that is I've actually become so jaded to the you need to lose weight comments because I've been getting them since I started YouTube back in 2017. I really started in 2016, but I say 2017 because that's when everything took off. Back then, there were no real issues that I was aware of. So other than being overweight, I just kind of like blocked out those comments because that was what was best for me, especially when no one literally asked. I do feel like it's harder for women, but I feel like it's harder for creators who are in my position, who are bigger and who are celebrating their bodies to have to go through a change, whether they want to or medically need to. And I think for me, it's kind of like, I wish there weren't these underlying conditions that were like, hey, you gotta lose weight. I had to stop and really ask myself, if I knew my health conditions were gonna happen before I got diagnosed with them, would I have lost weight? And I try not to do that because you don't know. You can never go back in time and know. Attack me if you want. I still believe you can be healthy at any size. I believe you can be my weight and have no issues other than being overweight according to a doctor, right? Can you be healthy at every size? Or is the fat and the inflammation in your body just a ticking time bomb until something's uncovered or something happens to you? And that's like this new conflict I have. Was I so jaded all these years? Can you be healthy at every size? And I really, 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 truly, I've said this so many times, I really believe that you can be taking care of your health. I do believe you can be healthy and have healthy habits at every size, but that doesn't just, I think what I used to take that as is, hey, I have nothing medically wrong with me, I must be healthy. Hey, I'm practicing healthy habits at my size, which is making me healthy. I was just assuming because there was nothing wrong, I was just considering that healthy, even though my diet may be messed up, even though I wasn't exercising, and not to lose weight, but just active motion, you know. And I think I was confusing those for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I think, well, honestly, I think, I don't want to diagnose anyone with anything, but I think for a lot of people, losing weight, seeing it in yourself, it does take a while. Like for me, this is a question I get a lot, is like, when did you first start noticing that you've lost weight? And for me, it took about like 50, 60 pounds, because I was, close to 400. It took a lot of weight for me to actually notice it. It depends on the person, right? If you have a lot more weight to lose, you can probably lose a good amount before you ever notice it, but if you're only losing, 20 pounds, every 5 pounds is going to be really noticeable. So it really kind of depends, but I thought that was funny that you brought that up.
It's interesting too, because I did not expect people to see the weight loss soon, right? Because I had gained more weight, so I feel like it should take more weight for you to see. But I think what happened is people were so used to all 2020 seeing me at a certain weight that when I gained all this weight and realized it and I lost about half of the weight I gained, I think people were noticing it in that video. And I was like really thinking about that, because I was like, I'm 10 pounds more really than what they normally see me. But in a month, I had to like step back and think, okay, well in a month they saw me shoot up 20 pounds. Seeing that 10 pounds difference is probably in their heads 10 pounds closer to what they're usually seeing me as all of 2020. Because in the beginning of 2020, I lost 30 pounds in 40 days. It was crazy. It was a keto thing. It was crazy. But I maintained that weight pretty much all year through all fad diets and various escapades, and then gained those 20 pounds. So I think in my head, that's how people were more so noticing, because they're like, this is Stella that we're used to seeing.
So this is a really interesting point that she makes, because this is something that's hard to do regardless of what you're doing online. Like, to relate it to myself, right? I'm a weight loss influencer, content creator, right? So it's really hard to step out of that place. And so I totally understand the struggle here, like trying not to be just a plus size creator. You're just trying to be a creator. It's one of those things that it's a lot easier said than done, because if you no longer use that to your advantage, right? You might make content that people just don't want to watch from you, which kind of hurts and it kind of sucks. But like, you have to take that step if you no longer want to be seen as just the weight loss guy or the plus size girl.
So what's so interesting to me about what he's saying is like, it's hard to step out of that box. Is my advantage to that, I've been saying that since I started my channel, that I am more than plus size. I am more than my weight. And I think that's the beautiful thing about like my self-worth and my identity, is that I've known that all along. But what I was trying to convey is like, I have the courage now to step out and make content that's not just about my shape. And that I feel is a superpower of mine. I've been preaching this. You can look back to videos of like 2017. I think I can't be plus size anymore or something like that. It's one where my boobs hanging out. That's the one where I was like, I'm more than my body. And like, I've been preaching that for damn near 4 years. So it wasn't as hard for me to step out. What is hard, because I'm still dealing with it, creating content people want to see without labeling myself, appealing to my core audience who built me, because I cannot ever forget them, and also respecting myself and the new audience I'm building, just being Stella.
Size woman, like it's a thing that it's a hard step to take. So this stuff is really hard. And again, like I was saying before, it's a really hard position. And I don't think that she was ever like really like fully like really really deep into like the health at every size kind of like thing. I don't think that she was. I could be wrong, but I don't think that she was. But I've said this before. Like, imagine if you are, right, I hate to use this example, but it's the most popular person that people understand. So if you're like Tess Holliday, right? Imagine if for years you have said, like, I am healthy regardless of my size, over and over and over again. And then something starts happening, right? Mm-hmm. And losing weight will help that thing. Whatever it is, I don't even need to put a name on it, right? Will help that issue. What do you do? I
can tell you what you do. He's probably gonna say something, but you gotta just face the bull by the horns. You have two options at the end of the day. One, you could stay the same weight and let your health deteriorate for the purpose of your channel. I'm sorry, I love you guys, but literally I will never put this channel above my health. It just will not happen. Or two, second option is to adjust. And it's a hard adjustment. It is not easy. And you know what's so funny about it though? It's so mental. You know how they say weight loss is mental? This adjustment is so mental because I know that I think on YouTube I have a lot more support than I do on Instagram. On Instagram, people seeing me smaller in photos is almost like triggering, and they don't really support me as much. I can tell as I'm losing weight. I can tell my likes are going down, my engagement's going down. So that's hard over there. But on YouTube it's a lot better because here on YouTube I have a different voice. On YouTube I'm talking about whatever. It's so much more than my weight, so it's an easier transition for people to watch me lose weight because it's like, okay, cool, like it's not like a feed where everything's like, oh shit, I love her because she's dressing my body, oh wait, Stella doesn't have my body more, oh wait, what's happening? That's kind of how Instagram is right now. It's a shit show, but YouTube's not like that. So 2 options, what are you gonna pick? And ask yourself that when you're judging me, like, what would you do?
What do you do? You tell everyone, hey, I need to lose weight now. You definitely can. And I'm sure, like, actually, a lot of people will probably support you. But there's going to be some people that don't. And so, I've thought about being in that position, and dude, that terrifies me. Like, it terrifies me. I can't imagine being there. And so,
I feel like that's a little dramatic. Like, it's scary, but you know at the end of the day, you're going to be all right. Like, even if you're not, you're going to be all right. It's a little drama, John. It's a little drama.
This is something I've thought a lot about this. And so, it's not, I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't want to sit here and say, like, oh, I would do this is what you should do. I don't know what I would do. I would be terrified. I would be terrified because something is going wrong with me. I'd be terrified because I want to lose weight and people are going to notice it if I actually do. And then I'd be terrified of losing the platform that I've spent years building. It'd be hard.
It is hard. I wouldn't say terrifying anymore. It's definitely daunting for sure, watching engagement go down, but you can't be validated by that. Like, it's become so much more inward, and that's why I think I'm okay with it now. And that's why I'm just embracing the weight loss, even going through therapy and things I haven't even talked to my therapist about, but just like knowing like, hey, I could have a healthy pregnancy and child at the end of this, or like, hey, I could get a positive result and turn around this downward slope of diagnoses I'm getting. That to me is like the happiness, and it's so much more inward instead of like, oh my gosh, what's the world gonna think? And you know, my therapist asked me a super real question 2 weeks ago. He said, if you were to lose everything to lose weight, but you had a child at the end of it, would you be happy? And I immediately said yes. So like, I know my priority, I know my goal. The issue for me, the goal is so like intangible right now because of the journey I need to go to get there. And obviously I'm not with anyone, so I don't even know how the baby's gonna be made, but cross that bridge. But I know in my soul, I would be happy with a baby at the end of this. I would be happy with a healthy pregnancy. You know, having a clotting disorder is not something to play with when you're trying to make a baby and, you know, dealing with a lot of blood loss. And that's where I am in my heart. It's like, okay, cool. Like, if I had to lose my whole career, but I had a child at the end of this, then yeah, I'd be fine and I'd be happy and I'd figure it out.
I'm not laughing at her, the dog. I'm sorry. Okay, I have ADD. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I feel for this woman. Okay,
I hate that you're like victimizing me. Like, I'm not a victim. I get it. The video, like, it's hard to not be a victim because I'm not a victim to like my own circumstance. It's hard to feel that like when you have to explain it, because how else are people gonna feel if you're like explaining what's going on with you without like victimizing yourself? And that's what I was trying not to do, but obviously I failed miserably because I'm getting very victimized in this video.
Honestly, I feel bad. It's not like I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for you. Do your thing. But like, oh, dude, like, this is why, like, I share quite a bit online, but there's a lot that I don't. Because I don't want to deal with the I told you so army coming after me and telling me, told you so about this thing. Like, this is another thing that I was like talking about with the whole like health at every size. Another reason people probably don't announce that they're losing weight or that they have issues is because the I told you so army is going to come out of the woodworks and be like, I told you were unhealthy. It like...
That is the single-handedly hardest part about losing weight on the internet, are the people coming back like, I told you so. The I told you so army for sure is the hardest part. And for me, my I told you so army is a little bit different. They're like fake with it because they're encouraging with it. They're like, I'm so proud, you know, I've told you, I made this comment months ago or years ago, and I'm so proud you finally listened. Like, I took their specific advice, and they're just like taking credit for everything that's happening. So I totally get the I told you so army. It's the worst about every topic, not even just weight loss.
It's not helpful, bro. And so like dude, veganism online is like a whole thing. And so announcing that you're doing it and then announcing that you're not doing it, holy smokes, dude. Again, not a position I ever want to be in. Like, I honestly think if I ever went vegan, I don't think I'd tell anyone.
The whole veganism online thing would have been so much worse if I would have played into it more. Like if I would have responded to what people were saying. But because I was just figuring out my life, and I think the vlog channel helped a lot because at the time people were seeing what was happening in real time, so it wasn't that big of a deal that I wasn't plant-based anymore. And fortunately enough, I think I have like a good card with the vegan community because I can't consume dairy, so I have a lot of plant-based habits in how I eat. I think that's why I haven't gotten as much heat as I thought I would not being vegan anymore, because people are just like, well, she has alternatives for everything else. I'm not just talking about dairy, but I'm talking about like everything I eat.
I would keep it to myself. That's something that I think would be like, you know what, that's for me and me alone. I'm not sharing it with anyone because I just don't want to deal with it, because if I end up not doing it anymore, I don't want to deal with backlash. So this is like where things can get difficult, right? Because this is where there are a lot of people that might disagree with what the doctor said. Like, they're just being fat phobic and they're just telling you that you need to lose weight because they think, oh, like, weight is what's killing everyone in the world. And
sorry, I live in Los Angeles and someone must be on the run because there's a helicopter above my place. I apologize, but I got dinner reservations in an hour, so we gotta film it now.
So this is like where things can get difficult, right? Because this is where there are a lot of people that might disagree with what the doctor said. Like, they're just being fat phobic and they're just telling you that you need to lose weight because they think, oh, like, weight is what's killing everyone in the world. And
so the only doctor that I've had that I feel like was actually fat phobic was the gynecologist that I feel almost killed me, who neglected my symptoms I was having, who just told me, you know, just lose weight, you're fine, or you're big. She actually told me I was being dramatic when I told her my symptoms. That's the only doctor I feel like that was actually fat phobic. Obviously, it almost resulted in my life, so.
This is where it's hard, this is where I struggle, because I do understand where a lot of like health at every size movement is like working on is getting better care for some overweight individuals, which I think is a good thing. But at the same time, like there does come a time where it's like, okay, we can be as nice as we want or as like understanding as we want and look in as many areas as we can that don't relate to your weight. Like you do have to look down that path, right? You do have to explore down that road, because I don't care who you are. I don't think there would be anyone that would ever make the argument that losing weight doesn't help some things, right? Like,
that's me. That's literally me. I would ask that. I would argue that. And now I think with my health, I'm questioning that. But definitely before I got all these diagnoses, I was definitely that person of like, I would ask that for sure.
If you sit there and make the argument that it doesn't help anything at all,
I used to be like that. Like, it would literally not help anything at all. But let's see how he's gonna drag me, because, okay.
I think you're being disingenuous, and I wouldn't have a real conversation with you, right? So, like, I think most people that are with health at every size would agree that there are some things that losing weight can definitely help. Is it everything? No. But this is where it gets muddy, right?
The only thing that ever changed my thought process on this is realizing that fat in your body is inflammation. And now that I have an autoimmune issue, now I like get it. But before I didn't get it like that. So
this is where it gets really, really difficult. Hey man, a lot of us got that self-sabotage issue, I'll tell you that much.
That's really comforting to hear. I have this horrible issue thinking that everything in the world has only ever happened to me and everyone else lives this beautiful, normal life and I'm the only one dealing with shit. And so to hear hey, everyone has this self-sabotage thing that's really good to hear. What helped, not only that comment, but I was in therapy on Friday just talking about my food issues I've been having, because not only was it this comment, but my therapist saying, do you know the stages of change? And I had no idea what that was. And this one little dumb graph literally opened my eyes that everyone goes through this. It's a process, it's an upcycle, and it just made me feel like normal.
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I totally understand. I think I understand what she's saying, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I understand how you feel, because I never felt that way, right? Like for me, losing the weight, like I didn't love how I looked. And I didn't hate myself, but I felt I will look better when I lose the weight. I know that might be controversial to some people, but
it's not controversial because I feel like I used to feel like that when I was younger, but because I grew up the weight I was, I don't know if you did or not, but because I grew up with always being bigger, always. Like, I think a senior in high school, I was 300 pounds. I think that for me, I had really gained a lot of my self-worth and confidence in high school, and definitely like around 10th grade is when I started owning my body, and that's where a lot of this like body positivity came from. It was never, I will look better to me, ever. I may look different, but it was never better, for sure.
That's how I felt. And so when I started losing the weight, I was like, I think I look better now. For me personally, okay? For me personally. And so that's the lens that I look at things through. And so
I also think that's because society wants you to feel like you're going to look better. But I know that's going to start a hot debate because people are going to be like, you're crazy because whatever. It's going to start a debate. But I just feel like maybe it's because society told you were not good enough at your weight and you had low self-esteem because of that. But it didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be that way.
The fact that she is on like the opposite side of the spectrum, like she is seeing people that are saying, oh, you've lost weight, you look great. And for her, it's not that great of a compliment. It's just very interesting. Because again, for me, when someone gave me that compliment, I can't explain to you how valid it made the hard work that I was putting in, because losing weight is freaking hard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it validated for me Like, I wasn't just doing it for that, obviously, but like it was like an outside validation that, hey, this work that I'm putting in is showing to other people, and that made me feel good.
I get it. I don't agree, but I get it.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I have the answer for that, but I think that a big one is just people, like, when you lose weight, for most people it looks like, and again, I know this is controversial, but it looks like you are getting healthier, and you are getting, you are working in a way, I think it's subconscious too, like, people don't even think about it, right? Because, I don't know, it's just so interesting, because I never had that thought of like, oh, you didn't think I was good looking before. Or like, I was just like, oh yeah, you think I look great, cool, thank you, I'm working on it.
That's the problem. That is literally the problem. Like, it's like this narrative that if you're bigger, you're not beautiful, or if you're bigger, you're not good looking or healthy. Like, that's literally the fucking problem, is that people feel like that's bad. It's like evil versus good. Like, it's not. And I don't fault you for that, because obviously that's how society is, and that's probably like just how you fell into your weight loss. But I'm just saying, like, it's fucking horrible. It's horrible to think like that, because there are people who literally commit suicide over this. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible thought process.
You know, so again, like, I've just never been down, I've never thought that way. But I think that as people, one, it's not like they're trying to say you looked bad before and you look better now. It's more just, I'm noticing the hard work, and this is me saying, I notice the hard work, I think you look great. I don't know, that's just my opinion, I could be wrong.
Just don't comment on my body. Just don't.
One thing that, holy smokes, women have it so much harder in this aspect. Like, the amount of issues you have from your weight,
it sucks, because we know that fat holds hormones, and hormones mess with your body, and I think that's why females have it so much worse when they're heavier, and it starts to affect them and like the reproductive system and stuff, because fat cells hold so many hormones, and that's where I feel like the issue is for real.
More that goes on there. Like, for a dude, you could be freaking 600 pounds and still make a baby happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got no issues. But for women, like,
lower sperm count can happen in overweight men. Doesn't mean it always does.
That truly becomes an issue. Not just like being able to get pregnant, but then being able to carry that through healthily without complications to you or the baby. Like,
that's literally my number one reason for losing weight. I want a baby, so I gotta manage this PCOS. 2, I want to fix my heart issue, so it's not even an issue yet, but it's damn near close. So I can have a damn baby. I really want a baby. I don't even have a man, but I want a baby, so.
Oh, dude, it's just, holy crap. I cannot imagine, I just can't imagine, like, the anxiety you would feel, like, because, you know, I film videos, and I know how it feels when you're, like, gonna film one that's kind of, like, heavy for you, the feeling right before you film it, like how she must have been feeling getting ready, right, putting on the makeup, and, like, doing her hair, and getting ready to film this video, setting up the tripod, setting up the lighting, and all this stuff, like, knowing that you're going to be sharing this information.
It's rough, but it's also my life.
Dude, that's hard stuff.
But thank you, because it is hard.
To relate it to myself, because you guys know I'm full of myself, I remember when I've told this story before. When I was in 10th grade, I almost got a lap band, which is like it's not as intense as most of the weight loss surgeries, because it's very non-invasive and you can remove it. But I almost got it. But I was kind of in the same place that it seems like she is right now, where I had conversations with the doctor, and they were asking me like, how like sure are you that you want to get this? And I was like, I'm like 80% sure that I want to do it. And they're like, that's perfect, because like they didn't want people that were like 100% like, I need to do this. This is the only option I have.
I'm gonna go in there and say I'm 50. I'm 48%. I'm 30% sure. They're gonna be pissed.
Because like most of the time it's not, right? That you can lose weight, especially because I was so young. I was in 10th grade. But like they basically were saying like you should explore every option before you go down this road. And
that's wonderful that they even say that, because I literally do not want weight loss surgery. I don't think it's clear. I don't want it. I don't. If I can find like a solid program, I literally meeting with a dietitian. I literally do not want weight loss surgery. I feel like it has to work. People lose weight naturally all the time, and I'm just praying that, you know, with the trainer, the nutritionist that he's gonna give me, and the dietitian, like this shit has to work. I can't believe in it any more than I do.
That's what I said before with weight loss surgery, right? So I think that where her head is in a good place, where it's not like I need to get the surgery and that's the only way I can lose weight. It's instead like I want to try everything before I try having surgery, because any surgery is a big deal, right? But that's really, really, really interesting.
It's so funny you said surgery is a big deal, because my doctor's like, it's no big deal. They just do this little incision. That's funny.
Well, that was a really, really intense one. I hope that she, she figures everything out and that she gets in a good place now. I would love for you guys to go over there and give her some love and
Thank you.
I know that you guys are rooting for her and you guys are here for her. Normally I don't do that in these videos because I don't want people to say anything mean, but I highly would recommend you guys go over to her channel and show her some love.
Okay, that was that. So final thoughts. Thanks, John. That's a much better video. I literally don't even know how long I made it into the first one before, like, it was just some comment that was just not even anything I believed in. I was like, that was just a total assumption. So I stopped it. But this one I had nothing that I felt like was just an assumption at all. And if it was addressed like, hey, this might be an assumption. So I really appreciate that. Two, I mean, I get why you reacted to it. I put it online. It's a big deal, whatever. People are interested in it. But I agreed with a lot about what you said. And it's so interesting because I don't know if I would have agreed with a lot of what you said 6 months ago. I think my ideas are definitely changing, and that's kind of scary. I'm just still trying to figure it out. I'm obviously going to update everyone and how the process is going, and it's rough. It's so rough. For all my followers on here, I'm definitely going to do more update videos on the channel just so it's not like 6 months in between, because I like deal with daily struggles. I just don't want this to be a weight loss channel. Like, that's just not what I'm here for. This started as a weight loss channel in 2016 for a year before I was like, I'm done, because I felt so identified by it, and I've already done it. I don't want to do it again. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked this response reaction, give it a thumbs up, please. That would really help me out. Go make sure to check out the Obese to Beast original video down below and give that a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Love and light, Stella. Bye.